And I'll say what I said in the vid, like the main reason you want, like the main and the most important reason you want solo invasions is, number one, you, like, we're not the only people that are going to be playing Elden Ring. There's going to be a ton, and I mean a ton of new players that are completely new to the franchise. Like, these people have never invaded, they don't even know what this game, like, you know, is all about. And so you want to give these people a chance and, like, to know what it feels like to be invaded. And so maybe they're like, oh wow, that looks cool, I want to try that. You want to give these people a chance to have that feeling, and that ultimately, why that is so important, it's not just, you know, to give them a good time, like, you know, that's not the whole reason. Like, the whole reason is that so you can create sort of a farm that creates new PvPers down the road. Like, you want to introduce new people to PvP to have a larger PvP player base. Like, the more active multiplayer is in general, the better it is for the game, for the, you know, for the lifespan in general. You don't think FromSoft makes their game to please audience? Yeah, I actually agree with that. I don't think they do so either. I think they have a vision, they follow that vision, and I'm glad, because you ultimately, if you just try to please people, it never ends up being so good. So I think that's a good thing. There's the kind of caring laugh. Yeah, another reason why I think solo invasions are needed, despite, you know, bonfire duelists being annoying, despite lone hosts running away and all of that, is that, like, if you start invading in random areas, like, let's see here, we're actually invading right now. A lot of time you're gonna encounter lone players, whereas these areas would be inactive, like completely inactive, if it wasn't for lone players. So at the beginning, when the game launches, that's not an issue. I think there's most likely going to be activity everywhere. Like, let's be honest, it's every time like a game like that launches, it's always pretty active, no matter what you do, regardless of where you are. But down the road, you don't want to limit invasions too much, where invasion might die out completely. Like in Bloodborne, you can't really invade anywhere but the dedicated PvP areas. And you don't want something like that to happen. You want to keep it where you can still invade and find activity, like no matter where you're trying to find it. On the other hand, though, like the people who really don't want to have to deal with, you know, bonfire duelists and hosts running away, like there's definitely something to please them here, because in the open world, we know 100% that it's not going to happen. Like, in the open world, you're not going to be able to invade solo players, so you can always invade only in the open world and find these solo players. And sorry, and find the co-op parties, not the solo players. I misspoke there. Is the host probably went here, we just don't know exactly where. Also, another thing, like, you know, the whole Darkmoon Covenant, like, the real main purpose for Darkmoon is to protect lone hosts, and the Darkmoon Covenant was definitely a welcome addition to this game in general, so you don't want to kill that either. There you are, alright. Oh, that's the host, too. Like, here, technically, like, we invaded this host while he was alone. Two blues had time to come in, because the level was too intricate here, so they couldn't group up. But this could have easily been, like, a nice like 3v1 interaction starting from a 1v1 interaction. It did not end up that way, but that's fine. Sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. But I think that's a price that's worth to pay for more activity. Just put a dried finger in Elden Ring and pop it in for solo host invasions. That's not, like, see here, I don't think that's actually a fix. Like, it does not address the main issue and the main premise that I said earlier. Like, the thing is, you want to force it on people, and why is that? Why do you want to force it? You don't want to overwhelm them, that's not the thing. Like, you want to force it so that you force people to at least try it. You force all these new people that don't even know what invasions are all about to at least be on the receiving end so that they know what's going on. That's why it's important. Because some of these people, not all of them, but some of these people will become PvP players. Don't think for a second that there's not going to be any new blood in the PvP scene. But there's going to be far less if solo invasions are not a thing, because they're simply never going to be confronted with any PvP interaction if that's the case. Like, only people that play with their buddies will be confronted with that. And if you're playing with a buddy, you already technically have a multiplayer interaction in the first place. To me, that's the most important thing. But then afterward comes in and the longevity of the game. Like, down the road, there will most likely be more solo invasions than group invasions. I mean, it's just mathematical, it is how it is. Like, there's just more people that play alone than people that play in group, so if you want the game to stay active longer, it makes sense to enable solo invasions. So those are my main two reasons, but especially the first one. Do you agree that DS2 style no Ember system should be in place? Yeah, I think Embers should disappear, but they already said so. Like, they already confirmed that Embers won't be a thing in Elden Ring. But to me, like I explained earlier in the vid I uploaded, like, to me the main problem I have with the Ember system is the health bar differential. Like, you want Phantoms, you want Invaders, and you want Hosts to have the same, like, type, like, same range of damage, like, according to their build. Like, they should all do the same damage if they were to make the same character. And they should all have the same amount of health if they were to make the same character, right? So if we have the same 125 build, or if we have the same level 60 build, we should both do the same amount of damage if we have the same upgrade. And why do you want that, and why is it important? It's like, if it's not the case, like, it's easier to give you an example if it's not the case. Like say in Dark Souls 3, for instance, you meet a host, you fight a host. Say the host trades with you. He wins the trade because he has more HP, and you lose the trade. He now thinks that it's a good idea to go for that trade. Now, when the host decides to invade later on in his gaming career, when he decides to invade, like, he'll go for the same trade because it has always worked when he was host. And when he goes for that trade as an invader, it doesn't work anymore because, like, the health bar is skewed. So that teaches bad habits, and you don't want to teach new players bad habits. You want to teach them good habits, you want them to learn PvP the right way, and you want this to be streamlined across the board. Like, you want it to be like a good experience. And so it's very important that you give the same type of damage to each players and give them the same health bar. Healing is a bit different. Healing is fine. Like, healing being nerfed is fine. But as far as the health bar goes, it's very important that everyone has the same health bar. To me, that was always a big miss in Dark Souls 3. I definitely have seen that happen. Planet X invasions, yes. Alright, we got Grey Wolf. Got Grey Wolf, but we... Oh, there's a blue back there, so... Oh, and a Phantom. Alright. to help my friend here. That's one down. That's some lag again. Ah, that's just straight up lag, never mind. DC, eh? Feels good.